When most travelers think of Rio de Janeiro, they picture Copacabana, Ipanema, and Christ the Redeemer. But just a few hours away, the coastline transforms into white sand, turquoise water, hidden coves, and dramatic dunes. Welcome to the Lakes region in the state of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Today, I'm counting down 10 of our favorite beaches across Cabo Frio, Arraial do Cabo, and Buzios, in an area known as the Região dos Lagos, or the Lakes region. This personal ranking is based on our own experiences and why this breathtaking coast deserves a place on your Rio itinerary. Number 10, Praia de Forno, Buzios. We're starting in Buzios at one of the most unusual beaches on this list. This is Praia de Forno. And no, this is not the better-known Praia de Forno in Arraial do Cabo. We'll get to that one later. What stood out to me here was the sand. Depending on the light, it can look reddish, orange, or even slightly pink. This was not the biggest or most dramatic beach of our trip, but it immediately felt different. The cove is compact, with rocks and native vegetation surrounding the shoreline. For me, Praia de Forno works best as a short stop for travelers who enjoy smaller beaches and unusual landscapes. It may be number 10, but that colorful sand makes it one of the easiest places in Buzios to remember. Number 9, Praia de Forte, Cabo Frio. The first thing that surprised me about Praia de Forte was how enormous it felt. The white sand seems to stretch for a very long distance, even though the beach sits right beside the center of Cabo Frio. This is an easy place to combine a beach day with restaurants, accommodations, and the convenience of the city. At one end, the historic São Mateus Fort stands on a rocky point above the water. I loved the contrast. In one direction, you have the city and the fort. In the other, the coastline opens toward long sections of sand and ocean. But my favorite part came farther along the beach, where the buildings gradually disappeared behind the dunes. Near sunset, the sand turned golden, and the entire landscape felt quieter. For me, this was one of those moments when the beach became more beautiful without even needing to enter the water. Number 8, Azeda and Azedinha, Buzios. At number 8, we're visiting 2 beaches instead of 1. Azeda and Azedinha sit beside each other in Buzios, separated by only a short rocky passage. From above, they look like 2 small pools carved into the edge of the peninsula. For visitors arriving on foot, the journey usually begins near Praia dos Ossos. This area still has the atmosphere of an old fishing village, with small boats close to shore. During our visit, a large cruise ship was anchored farther out in the bay. Seeing the traditional boats in front of such a massive ship created one of my favorite contrasts in Buzios. From Praia dos Ossos, the coastal path leads toward Azeda. When the beach appears below the stairs, the water and surrounding vegetation create a beautiful first view. Azeda is the larger beach, while Azedinha is smaller and feels more intimate. My main tip is to arrive early. Both beaches are compact, and the experience can change quickly once they begin to fill up. Hey guys, planning a trip to the Lakes region? Cabo Frio is a great base for exploring Buzios and Arraial do Cabo. Scan the QR code to see my recommended places to stay. Number 7, Praia Grande, Arraial do Cabo. Praia Grande completely changed the mood of our trip. After visiting smaller coves and more protected beaches, this place felt wild, powerful, and almost endless. It faces the open Atlantic, with stronger waves, coastal winds, and a horizon that seems to continue forever. One of the first things you may notice here is the temperature of the water. Arraial do Cabo is influenced by a natural phenomenon called upwelling, which brings colder water from deeper parts of the ocean closer to the surface. So even on a hot and sunny day, the ocean can feel surprisingly cold. And because Praia Grande is more exposed to the Atlantic, the waves may also be stronger than they first appear. This beach is about much more than swimming. Its wide shoreline, dramatic ocean, and beautiful late afternoon light make it one of the best places in Arraial do Cabo for photos. And as the day comes to an end, many visitors gather here to watch the sunset. The sky changes color above the ocean. The beach becomes covered in warm, golden light, and the entire shoreline turns into one enormous viewpoint. For me, staying until sunset was what made Praia Grande truly unforgettable. Number 6, Ilha do Japonês, Cabo Frio. Ilha do Japonês, which means Japanese island in Portuguese, felt like a complete change of pace. After the open Atlantic, we entered calm, protected water connected to Cabo Frio's Itajuru channel. The first thing I noticed was how shallow the water could be. Depending on the tide, visitors may walk through clear sections, while boats and kayaks move slowly nearby. This is not a place for dramatic waves or large cliffs. What makes it special is the relaxed atmosphere and the feeling of spending the day inside a natural lagoon. The experience changes with the tide, so checking the conditions before visiting is important. The best way to reach the island may involve a boat, kayak, water taxi, or walking through shallow water when conditions allow. There is very little structure on the island itself, so bring what you need and take everything back with you. For me, this was one of the calmest stops of the trip. But the next beach gave us one of our biggest surprises beneath the surface. Number 5, Prainha and Graçainha, Arraial do Cabo. Prainha is one of the first beaches many travelers see when arriving in Arraial do Cabo. With pale sand, clear water, and hills surrounding the bay, it creates a beautiful introduction to the town. Compared with some of the more isolated beaches in this video, Prainha is easier to reach and usually has more facilities nearby. But what made this stop truly memorable for us was everything happening beneath the surface. Around the rocks near Prainha, we found colorful fish moving through the clear water. And hidden just around the corner is a tiny beach called Graçainha. Getting there may involve walking over uneven rocks, so I would only attempt the route when the conditions feel safe. Once we entered the water, we saw even more marine life. And then, just below the surface, we found sea turtles swimming peacefully through the clear ocean. This became one of my favorite moments of the entire trip. Earlier, I mentioned the upwelling phenomenon that makes the water around Arraial do Cabo feel surprisingly cold. But that colder water also brings nutrients from deeper parts of the ocean closer to the surface, helping support the region's incredible marine ecosystem. And this is where we were able to experience that benefit for ourselves. Wildlife sightings are never guaranteed, which made the experience feel even more special. Whenever you swim near sea turtles or other marine animals, keep a respectful distance, never touch them, and allow them to move freely. Prainha and Graçainha showed us that the cold water of Arraial do Cabo comes with an incredible reward, a beautiful and surprisingly rich underwater world. Number 4, Ferradurinha Beach, Buzios. Ferradurinha Beach was one of those beaches that looked beautiful from every angle. From above, the cove appears almost perfectly framed by large rocks and clear water. Buzios sits on a peninsula, which helps explain why its beaches can feel so different. Some face the open Atlantic, while others are protected by the shape of the coastline. Ferradurinha is one of the more sheltered coves. What I loved most here was the intimate atmosphere. On calmer days, the water can be inviting for swimming, kayaking, or simply floating close to shore. But the beach is small and can fill up quickly. Arriving early can make a big difference, and I would definitely recommend it. Ferradurinha may not have a long shoreline, but its shape, rocks, and clear water make it one of the most photogenic places in Buzios. Number 3. Praia de Forno, Arraial do Cabo. Praia de Forno was one of my favorite arrivals of the trip. As we followed the trail, the bay slowly appeared between the green hills. From above, the beach looked almost perfectly shaped, with pale sand and water changing from deep blue to lighter turquoise near the shore. You can reach Praia de Forno by boat, but I think the trail adds something special. It requires some effort, especially under the midday sun, so bring water and wear comfortable shoes. The viewpoint makes the walk worth it. As we descended, the beach disappeared behind the vegetation, and then revealed itself again near the bottom. Once we entered the water, I was surprised by how clear it looked from beach level. In good conditions, you may be able to see the sandy bottom and marine life below the surface. For me, Praia do Forno offered the perfect combination of a beautiful viewpoint, a short hike, and clear water. But number 2 felt even more isolated, and reaching it usually requires a boat. Number 2. Praia do Farol, Arraial do Cabo. Praia do Farol felt like one of the most protected and remote places on our route. The beach is located on an island just off the coast of Arraial do Cabo. For most visitors, the experience begins at Praia dos Anjos, where authorized boat tours depart toward the island and other coastal attractions. Many tours may include Praia do Farol and the waters near Pontal do Atalaia, but routes and landing permissions can change. Sea conditions, local regulations, and conservation rules all affect the itinerary, so confirm the details before departure. I enjoyed the boat ride almost as much as the arrival. As we moved away from the mainland, the water changed color, and the coastline became increasingly dramatic. When landing is permitted, the first view of Praia do Farol is unforgettable. The sand is bright, the water is intensely blue, and the island feels completely separated from the city. There are no beachfront hotels, busy roads, or rows of restaurants. The landscape is the entire experience. Because this is a protected area, visits may be controlled, and time on the beach can be limited. Respecting the crew's instructions and the conservation rules is part of helping preserve this place. For me, Praia do Farol felt pristine, isolated, and almost unreal. It could easily have been number 1. When planning tours and transfers, I recommend using a trusted platform like Get Your Guide. I've selected some great options for you. Just scan the QR code to take a look. Number 1. Prainhas do Pontal do Atalaia. Our number 1 is the famous Prainhas do Pontal do Atalaia. There are different ways to reach this beach, including by boat, but we chose the famous staircase, and for me, this was the most memorable way to arrive. From the hillside, a long wooden staircase descends toward 2 small beaches, surrounded by white sand, green cliffs, and intensely blue ocean. With every step, the view changes. The ocean becomes larger, the water becomes clearer, and the beach slowly reveals itself below. This was the moment that made Pontal do Atalaia our number 1. The beach is beautiful on its own, but the staircase, the viewpoint, and the dramatic arrival turn it into a complete experience. Depending on the tide and sea conditions, the 2 stretches of sand may appear connected or separated. From beach level, the water can look calm and transparent, with Ilha do Farol visible across the channel. This is one of the most famous places in the region, so it can become very busy. After exploring Cabo Frio, Buzios, and Arraial do Cabo, this was the place that best represented everything that made the coastline feel unreal to us. Rocky coves, marine life, clear water, and an incredible variety of landscapes within one part of Brazil. Those were 10 of our favorite beaches and coastal destinations beyond the city of Rio de Janeiro. From the unusual sand in Buzios, to the turtles at Graçainha, the dunes of Cabo Frio, and the iconic staircase at Pontal do Atalaia, every stop gave us a different reason to remember this coast. Now I want to know your choice. Which of these beaches would you visit first? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe to Unreal Routes as we continue exploring real places that almost look unreal. Thank you for traveling with us. We'll see you on the next route.